Sri Ram, Jai Sri Ram, Jai Jai Sri Ram. Hello everyone, my name is Gyanendra Kumar. I am biology educator in India. In this video, we will discuss what is parasympathetic neural system. We all know that autonomous neural system is that part of neural system which supply directly to our different visceral organs, like they are supplying heart, they are supplying salivary gland, they are supplying our lungs, and many more. Trachea, bronchus, bronchioles, they are supplying large intestine, small intestine, pancreas. So there will be direct neural supply. Our will have not any kind of role in it. So that autonomous neural supply have two parts. One is sympathetic neural supply, that is also called the thoracolumbar outflow. We have seen it already in one video. You can watch the video if you want. And then in this video we are going to see parasympathetic neural supply. Yes, parasympathetic neural supply. So we are going to see here parasympathetic neural supply in this video. See, this parasympathetic neural supply is also called craniosacral outflow. We are also calling it craniosacral outflow. Yes. Why we are calling it craniosacral outflow? Because this part of neural system include cranial nerve. Which cranial nerve? Cranial nerve 3, cranial nerve 7, cranial nerve 9 and 10. And then our sacral spinal nerve also participated, S2, S3 and S4. That's why we are calling it craniosacral outflow. Now we discussed that in sympathetic neural supply there is a chain of ganglia in both sides of spinal cord. Here you will not find any kind of chain of ganglia both sides of the spinal cord. Ganglia will be present near to the organ. There, if you remember, ganglia was present near the spinal cord. Right here, ganglia is present is near the organ. Okay. Then here also we have preganglionic neuron, and then we have postganglionic neuron. Preganglionic neuron, ganglia and postganglionic neuron here also present. I am writing here. Here they have first preganglionic neuron. Ganglia is not present near the spinal cord. And then they have ganglia here, and then things will come to the information will come to then postganglionic neuron. See, here ganglia is present near the organ, you see, students. Yes. Another thing, the ganglia which rises from the neuron which rises from central neural system, means either from the brain or from the spinal cord, they releases acetylcholine here. Yes, in the ganglia this preganglionic neuron releases acetylcholine here. Yes, acetylcholine they releases. And you all know, if neuron releases acetylcholine, we call that neuron cholinergic neuron. So like sympathetic neural supply only, the preganglionic neuron is cholinergic neuron. But there is a great difference, their preganglionic neuron was smaller in size. Here preganglionic neuron is long in size, because ganglia here present near the organ, their ganglia was present near the spinal cord. Yes. So cholinergic neuron present, and then they releases they releases acetylcholine, this ganglia, and then stimulus accepted by postganglionic neuron, and this postganglionic neuron on organ releases acetylcholine. Yeah. So here they releases acetylcholine on organs. But there, if you remember, in sympathetic neural supply, you remember postganglionic neuron was releasing epinephrine or norepinephrine. Fine. So here they not do that. Actually, they releases acetylcholine here. Fine. Postganglionic neuron releases acetylcholine here. Okay, fine. Now here postganglionic neuron is obviously it's smaller in size. There in the postganglionic neuron were longer in size. Now come back please. One by one we'll see how they supply. Actually, in the brain of the in our brain there is one nucleus that is called Edinger Westphal nucleus. This Edinger Westphal nucleus is point of origin of our cranial nerve third. From this cranial nerve third will originate, and for the parasympathetic neural supply they will form different ganglia and they supply different organs, like they form ciliary ganglia or intramural ganglia and they are supplying eyes. Fine, they will supply ciliary muscle, and they will cause contraction in ciliary muscle. And when they will cause contraction in ciliary muscle, the suspensory ligament or zonal ligament will relax. And when zonal ligament will relax, that stretching on the lens, the stretching on the lens, it will decrease. Like see, because of stretching, this is the thickness of the lens. The lens is thin. Now when the suspensory ligament will relax, this stretching power, it will reduce and the lens become more globular. Yeah, lens become more globular, so which will help in accommodation of the lens. So our parasympathetic neural supply, they causes contraction in ciliary muscle and they causes relaxation in the our suspensory ligament. So our lens will become more globular, which is accommodation for the near vision. Then they causes contraction in the circular muscle of the iris, and when the iris circular muscle will contract, the pupil will also contract. Okay, and this is how they limit the entry of the light. The amount of light, they limit the entry amount of light which entering into the eye. Fine, pupil, we have this black color part portion of the eye is called large black color portion of the eye is called iris, and in center are you observing again one small black color portion present, that is called actually pupil, right? So pupil will constrict due to the parasympathetic neural supply. Then you see, then we have superior salivatory nucleus. From superior salivatory nucleus, cranial nerve 7, that means facial nerve will rise. They supply lacrimal gland, they supply nasal gland, they supply palatine gland. Actually they supply nasal gland, and they causes more nasal secretion. They supplied lacrimal gland and causes more tears production, and they supply palatine gland also and causes their more secretion. So what is effect of our parasympathetic neural supply on the lacrimal gland? They causes more tears production. So parasympathetic neural supply causes more tears production. And then this facial nerve only, is forming one more ganglia, that is called submandibular ganglia. This submandibular ganglia supply submandibular and sublingual salivary gland, not parotid. This submandibular ganglia, they supply submandibular and sublingual salivary gland, and they causes, secretion of more and more saliva. More and more saliva secretes, and that have lot of salivary amylase. Okay, lot of saliva secretes, right? That have lot of salivary amylase, right? Which will digest the food. So if we have digest the food, for that we need saliva, and saliva secrete by parasympathetic neural supply. Fine, saliva will secrete, in that enzymes will also secrete. And then we have inferior salivatory nucleus. From inferior salivatory nucleus, seventh cranial nerve will start. Actually this seventh cranial nerve, is glossopharyngeal nerve. Yeah, it's glossopharyngeal nerve. Sorry, 7 I'm saying. Ninth salivary gland is ninth cranial nerve will start. 7 will start from the superior salivatory nucleus. From the inferior salivatory nucleus, glossopharyngeal nerve means ninth cranial nerve will start. This ninth cranial nerve will actually, it will supply the parotid gland by otic ganglia, and they increases salivary amylase secretion, they increases watery secretion from the pituitary gland, so we'll have enough saliva to digest the food. And then a great nerve, 10th cranial nerve. This 10th cranial nerve, is the super nerve, vagus nerve. They start from the dorsal nucleus of the vagus, and they supply our respiratory tract, they supply heart, they supply our digestive system, they supply our they our the kidneys also even. Fine, let's see how. Most of the supply in abdominal region, it will be by this vagus nerve only. So this vagus nerve forming pulmonary plexus, and then they supply bronchus, bronchioles, trachea. They causes bronchoconstriction. If you remember, if you remember, sympathetic neural supply was causing dilation of bronchioles, right? But here they causes bronchoconstriction, constriction of bronchioles. They increases mucus secretion. Yeah, mucus secretion, they increases a lot of mucus secretion in the respiratory tract. And then they supply liver also by the left vagus branch. They supply the liver by forming hepatic plexus. They have great action on the liver. See, they increases glycogenesis. Glycogenesis means synthesis of glycogen. The glucose present in the circulatory blood, so they will convert into it will start to convert into the glycogen. So the glycogen synthesis they start. Then they causes gallbladder contraction. If there will be gallbladder contraction, lot of bile will release, and that bile will help in emulsification of fat for digestion of the fat. Fine. And they causes relaxation in sphincter of OD. Sphincter of OD, point the at the point in the duodenum, hepatopancreatic duct join, and sphincter of OD guide there actually. So release of the pancreatic juice and release of pancreatic juice and bile is guided by sphincter of OD in the duodenum, right? So they causes by hepatic plexus, this vagus nerve causes, to relaxation in sphincter of OD, and relaxation of sphincter of OD causes more and more secretion of pancreatic juice and more secretion of our bile. Okay, fine. Then by cardiac plexus they supply to the heart, right? And they decreases activity at the sinoatrial node. They decreases activity of atrioventricular node activity will decrease, heart rate will decrease. They decreases heart rate, they decreases blood pressure, they decreases force of ventricular contraction. So what will be effect of cardiac plexus, students, on the heart? Whenever our heart activity will increase due to sympathetic neural supply, then they will suppress the heart activity by decreasing activity of sinoatrial node, atrioventricular node, force of ventricular contraction, and they will decrease blood pressure also, they decreases heart rate also. Fine. And again it will come back to normal. Then this same vagus nerve is forming esophageal plexus. This esophageal plexus will supply esophagus, and they will actually increase peristalsis in esophagus. And when peristalsis in esophagus will increase, food will go to stomach, right? And then they form actually gastric plexus, and this gastric plexus supplied to the stomach, and in stomach they increases gastric motility. More and more food will mix with the gastric juice, they increases gastric juice secretion also. So more and more food will mix with the more and more gastric juice, and more digestion will be there. Fine. Then they are forming by that right branch, they will form celiac plexus. This celiac plexus will supply the kidneys, they will cause contraction in ureter. Okay, so more and more urine will move toward the it will move toward the urinary bladder. Okay, and they causes more and more urine formation there, right? They supply to pancreas also, right? And they promote more and more insulin release. Then they supply large intestine. They causes motility in colon. Fine. This vagus nerve only I'm saying. Motility into they causes motility, more and more motility, more and more secretion, more and more absorption in large intestine. Same thing they will do with the small intestine also. They causes more and more, yeah, they causes more and more motility into the colon, small intestine. They increases secretion of succus entericus of small intestine from crypt of lubricant. So when crypt of lubricant secrete lot of succus entericus, more and more food will digest, and they promote absorption of food also. Yes. So these all are the function of our vagus nerve. These all are that four cranial, 3, 7, 9 and 10 cranial nerve involved in our parasympathetic neural supply. This is how they do the effect. Yes. Now next one is the sacral spinal nerve. S2, S3 and S4 sacral spinal nerve, actually they supply to the different organ. Actually they are forming one nerve that is called pelvic splanchnic plexus. This pelvic splanchnic plexus will supply reproductive system, they will supply gonads, they will supply urinary bladder, and they supply large intestine. When they supply female reproductive system, they will cause peristalsis in the urethral muscle. Yeah, they causes peristalsis into the urethral muscle. They causes peristalsis in fallopian tube. See, peristalsis in fallopian tube means the, I mean, when they causes, it's not urethral muscle, it is uterine muscle. Uterine muscle. When they will cause peristalsis into the fallopian tube, the female gamete will start to move toward the uterus. Why they will move toward the uterus, student? Because toward the uterus only, students, see, toward the uterus only, when they will, once they will release from the ovary, female gamete release from the ovary, they will come to coelom, then they will enter into fallopian tube, they have to come to ampulla. Yeah, if you remember, they have to come at this position. From here they will enter, so they have to come here. So they will come here by ciliary movement and by peristalsis, and in ampulla they will participate in fertilization, and then they have to go toward the uterus for implantation. So who will promote it? This parasympathetic neural supply causes peristalsis in uterus, and they promote this activity. Okay. Then this same pelvic splanchnic plexus, they supply urinary bladder, and they causes contraction in urinary bladder. This contraction in urinary bladder causes release of urine. They will actually, in wall of urinary bladder, one thick smooth muscle present, that is called detrusor muscle. So they causes contraction in detrusor muscle. Contraction in detrusor muscle releases urine outside. Then they causes relaxation in internal urethral sphincter. We all know that we have two urethral sphincter. One is internal urethral sphincter, that is, another one is external urethral sphincter. External urethral sphincter is supplied by somatic neural supply, right? But internal urethral sphincter is supplied by sympathetic and parasympathetic neural supply. In parasympathetic neural supply, this internal urethral sphincter will relax and urine will release outside. So sympathetic neural supply was promoting storage of urine. They are promoting release of urine. They are promoting maturation. Yes. Then they supply to large intestine like transverse colon, descending colon, rectum, sigmoid colon. They increases motility here, they increases secretion here, they increases absorption here, and they causes relaxation in internal sphincter, internal anal sphincter. Remember, external anal sphincter is controlled by somatic neural supply, so they causes relaxation in internal anal sphincter. Yes. Then by prosthetic plexus they supply to gonads. In gonads, they causes erection in penis. Yes, actually they increases blood supply blood supply to the corpora cavernosa and corpus spongiosum of the penis, and they causes erection of penis. Fine. That guy sympathetic neural supply was causing ejaculation from the penis, they causes erection from the penis, and they causes, yes, they causes increased blood supply in the clitoris in the female. Clitoris, is the analogous, that this clitoris is analogous organ in the female. Our penis is also erectile, made by erectile tissue. Clitoris is also made by erectile tissue. So it have, it have great role into the feelings of the sexual arousal. Clitoris, so they increases blood supply in clitoris also. So we covered actually parasympathetic neural supply. In parasympathetic neural supply, we observed that this pelvic splanchnic plexus will cause release of urine. Okay, they increases activity of large intestine, they causes erection in penis, erection in clitoris, they causes actually contraction, they causes more and more peristalsis in fallopian tube and uterus, and then they increases glycogenesis, they increases gallbladder contraction, they causes relaxation of sphincter of OT, they decreases heart activity, they increases peristalsis in esophagus, they increases activity of small intestine, bronchoconstriction, more and more saliva secretion, more and more nasal secretion, and then they causes constriction of the pupil, and they causes accommodation of the eye lens for near vision. So this is what our craniosacral outflow, this is what our parasympathetic neural supply. Remaining we will see in next video. Please subscribe my channel, and I have one Hindi channel also, Vayam Hindu Biology. If you are comfortable in Hindi, then you can join that channel. Yes, Vayam Hindi Biology, Vayam Hindu Biology. Please subscribe that channel. Okay, thank you, bye.